Did you know that the moon actually has its own version of earthquakes? As a kid, we were taught that the moon is this big, round ball of cheese in the sky that just sits there. But it turns out the moon is a lot more dynamic than that. In fact, it shakes with moonquakes, and some of them are pretty powerful. You see, the moon, like the Earth, is constantly bombarded by meteorites. And when a meteorite hits the moon, it can trigger moonquakes. Moonquakes caused by meteor impacts can reach magnitudes of 5 on the Richter scale. That's about as strong as a moderate earthquake here on Earth, so the vibrations from these impacts can literally make the whole moon tremble. But at night, temperatures can plummet to minus 180 degrees Celsius or minus 290 degrees Fahrenheit. That's a crazy temperature swing. And the moon's crust isn't very good at conducting heat. Instead, it is a dynamic planet with a liquid core and a very thin crust that is constantly shaking from meteorite impacts and extreme temperature changes. You see, the moon's gravity pulls on the Earth's crust, and that creates stress that is released in the form of earthquakes. So the drastic temperature changes cause the moon's crust to expand and contract, and that creates stress that is released in the form of moon. And scientists have recorded some of these moonquakes. They tell us that the moon is not a dead, inactive body in space, but a dynamic planet with a liquid core and a very thin crust that is still tectonically active. The moon doesn't have a lot of atmosphere to muffle the impact, so the vibrations travel deep into its crust and can shake the whole place up. But the moon's crust is also very thin. It's only about 30 miles or 50 kilometers thick. In fact, the moon has two different kinds of moonquakes. The ones caused by meteor impacts are called impact tremors, and the moon also has another kind of moonquake caused by temperature changes. These are called thermal contraction quakes. You see, during the day on the moon, temperatures can reach up to 120 degrees Celsius, about 250 degrees Fahrenheit. These thermal contraction quakes are usually weaker than the impact tremors. They rarely exceed a magnitude of 3 on the Richter scale, but they are still pretty fascinating. And they tell us that the moon is a lot more lively than we thought. So next time you look up at the moon, remember, it may not be the dead inactive body in the sky that we were taught in school. It's a relief. It's not the only one. Here on Earth, we experience earthquakes all the time, and it's all thanks to the moon. So next time you feel an earthquake, just remember it could have been a lot worse. It could have been a moonquake. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next video.